anything you do during your studies will help you. I actually like your channel, and I like your idea of conducting interviews with others, because this is a misunderstanding from students, probably. Situation. GPAs do not really guarantee you a job. Learn to speak up also when there's something wrong. You should learn how to do public speeches. Cool.
Sham, is there any kind of real importance of open sources like LinkedIn, GitHub, or Kaggle? Like maintaining kind of good profile, will they really matter?
All right. Yeah, I would say most of them are important, of course. LinkedIn should be the mirror to you. So it's the way that someone will know what you are doing or what skills you have. It's the first source of information other than your CV. So it has to be all the time updated. But as someone who is looking for a job, I don't think it will guarantee you a job. Through LinkedIn, I had so many job offers, but they always just start the conversation with you, but they don't carry on. Although you try your best and you show interest, but they will be like, if their job is just to advertise something, but not to continue with it. LinkedIn won't really get you a job, but it will give you an idea what is going on in the market, what are the trending positions. You can use it as a way of finding other people and learning more from them. If you have a job interview, for example, you can look for this kind of position you are interested in or you are applying to, and find some people who are already in this position and know more what kind of questions they have in the interview, or what kind of skills you have to get, or what are the gaps you should fill if you didn't learn about this before, what kind of things you have to know more. For example, I used LinkedIn once. I wanted to apply for what we call a graduate program. And in that time, I really got to know so many great people, and they told me so many interesting things that I never knew about. So I think that was one of the powerful things that LinkedIn offered.
Yeah, exactly.
Regarding the other stuff, so yes, GitHub is a must. As a data scientist, you must definitely learn how to use GitHub for several reasons. So first of all, GitHub will allow you to do versioning of your work. So I, for example, used it extensively for my master thesis. So I was always, if I write a code and I don't want to lose it, or I don't have my laptop with me, I keep everything I do on GitHub. And with using any other computer device anywhere, I could reach my code that I wrote.
Exactly.
I can also keep versions of my work. So in case I made a mistake, I could retrieve an older version and be happy again. Not feel this, sometimes you write a code and then something happens, the computer crashes, and then you lose all your work. So when you are using GitHub, you are saving from time to time everything you do, then you don't go into this kind of horrible situations.
Exactly.
In companies or in projects, even at the university, when you are working with someone else, it's also definitely a great help, because then you can collaborate together, you can write requirements, you can write the important stuff, and you can really collaborate successfully with others. I love GitHub actually. Other open sources I would recommend, like in your case, you are a YouTuber, you are doing videos on data science and stuff. I would also recommend that you use software that my professor was working on at the university. It's called Autoblog. I can also give you a link to that. And he also prepared a video. It converts, of course, he uses the special property from YouTube where you can transfer or transform speech to written form. I think if you are a data scientist, you might, through your journey, you might stumble upon the task of annotation. So there are also some open source annotation software which would be nice to know about. Kaggle, I would say, in my whole journey so far, I have used it maybe once or twice. I participated maybe twice in Kaggle competitions. You learn a lot. You can find some other code from other people, and you can have a look at how they write. Also, the same in GitHub. But I would say I didn't use it much. I wasn't dependent on Kaggle as much as I was dependent on GitHub.
Yeah, okay, that's cool, really. And Sham, I have some kind of I have questions left up. And if we finish the particular thing, I will share my resume with you right now, like by sharing screen, or else I will share the particular my resume through chat. You can open the particular resume and share your screen, and kind of we can put the particular part at the resume review session. How was it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, sure.
We can do that.
Yeah, okay. Coming on to the next question. Okay, it may be somewhat one. Like, what exactly motivates you to become a data scientist? Because the thing was, you did your bachelor's from electrical and mechanical. It was really complete different. Like, what exactly motivates you to pick the particular theme of data science only? Yeah.
Yes. In my case, it's a little bit a funny story. I didn't choose data science, it chose me. So I come to Germany as a refugee from Syria, and the struggle with the German language, I had some circumstances that I could not enroll in courses that will allow me to go into a master degree which is taught in English, in German. So my only option was to get something in English, and as I said, I studied medical engineering, so I wanted to continue in medical engineering. And the programs where I was applying had three kinds of medical engineering programs. Two of them were German, which were, I would say, the better fit at that time for me. The third one was in English, which was the data science and computer science program. And this is why I got into it. Of course, it was so difficult for me to cope. I was motivated to learn more, and I learned before C++ and I loved it.
Yeah.
So what I just had to do here was to build on top of that. And of course, I had to pay extra effort, but I started really loving it. Everything I was learning was interesting. I have never heard about those stuff about pattern recognition or pattern analysis or computer vision. All of that was new to me, but it was very logical. It fits right when you hear it. I really loved it. And when I started looking into this kind of field, really what are the potential, I found it to be very, it's like an open door. It's really in everything. Even if I have focused on medical engineering, I could easily fit and work in other fields like psychology, in oil and gas, in factories, in car industry,
and
all the cars.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really a wide variety of options which you could have in data science, and this is why I was motivated to carry on.
And it was really very great because I used to believe that data science is the thing where we can apply the particular, like data science in any field, agriculture, electrical, mechanical, anything. The real meaning of the data scientist is to apply our data science knowledge to solve the particular problem in any sector or any field, as it is agriculture, electricity, anything. Just we need to apply the particular data science and we need to sort out the problem.
Exactly. Yeah. And the nice thing about data science is also, if you feel that this kind of tasks or this kind of this field that you have right now doesn't really fit you or you don't like it, you can always find another field where you have your potential and your skills used. So it's really, as I said, it has a very big variety of options. So whenever you don't like something, you can always switch and come back later when you are stronger. I would say you don't have to be an expert in everything, but you definitely must know about all the terms, all the fields, all the possibilities, all the potential. This you must have and you must know. And this you get by studying, by looking up on the internet, by doing some online courses. You will get there.
Yeah,
I think you are already there.
Okay. Moving, let's move to the last question. Sham, can you give a kind of advice to present undergraduate students for getting into data science, or any people who are willing to transit or change their career towards data science? A kind of advice, a kind of tip, whatever. Yeah.
Yes, I would say, of course, do focus on all the data science skills. Knowing Python, knowing SQL. This no one told me before I should know SQL or know the concepts of SQL. I had to face this when I started working. Do learn all the technical skills which you need for being a data scientist. But what nobody tells you about is to also have the non-technical skills as well at the same time. And I think this, as a student, you must do in your free time. So instead of playing PUBG or Candy Crush or wasting time on social media, no, it's all right. We do it all. We were all students, and we do it. We all do it. But I'm just doing the advice. If I would come back in time, of course I didn't play PUBG, but
yeah, me too.
But I hear about it. You have to use your time wisely and listen to audiobooks, learn about working with the team, learn about other cultures. You don't want to offend someone just because you didn't know about something. Nobody knows that you don't know something. Of course, in some situations it's forgiven, but I would say the general manners and general things about other cultures you should have and you should know. But all of this comes, as I said, from reading, from watching YouTube videos. Learn about advancing yourself from the point of confidence. So when you go to an interview, you should really know how to sell yourself. You should know how to behave, how to say the right thing at the right time. You should learn to listen. You should learn to speak up also when there's something wrong. You should learn how to do public speeches, talk in front of so many people, or at least doing presentation. I would say also learn not to do, instead of presentations, learn how to pitch. So making your idea and your whole project reach to the audience in 5 minutes. You should learn how to do this. All the stuff you really should do as a student, I would say, because you have to be ready when you are looking for a job.
Yeah, exactly. And
I know it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I know it's a lot of pressure, but I'm just telling this because you should be aware of those stuff, and maybe learn also about leadership if you're interested in leading teams. Working with a team is really challenging, I would say. You don't know with whom you end up, and you don't know but you might end up with a really great team, very efficient, and everyone loves each other, and you might end up sometimes with difficult colleagues. Working with a team is really great, and it's absolutely a great experience, but as I said, it's sometimes challenging. So you have to be prepared for such stuff. And I would say prepared, meaning don't avoid teamwork at the university. Do it. I know it's difficult sometimes. Sometimes people just leave the work for you and you do it for the whole team. Don't do that. Always try to practice working with a team in the university, so you are prepared in the real life.
Exactly. And in my free time, I used to explore new things through LinkedIn, YouTube, and I used to read a kind of book at least for a week. And presently, I am reading a book of 1 second. I think you get it. This is a book which I used to read in this particular week, The Power of Subconscious Mind.
Cool. I will read it too. Yeah.
So Sha-am, thank you very much for your time. I think this was really an amazing conversation, and I'm pretty sure the people are going to find it really, really very helpful and informative too. And thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Thank you so much also for having me. I was so glad to meet you and get to know you. You're absolutely a great person. I like your personality and I like the way you are encouraged to do things. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, it's really my pleasure.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Send the rocks across the